Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and you know that this guy's here and this car's here. Then we are back at an OnX Off-Road Build Challenge. So this video is brought to you by OnX Off-Road, and we are going to work on this car. If you know how this works, then you know that you can go on onxoffroad.com and you can choose for your favorite team. You can sign up for free and pick which one of us you want to win the OnX Off-Road Build Challenge. Plus, it gives you an opportunity to actually apply for yourself to see if you want to be with one of us running the route to SEMA. And the way this works is we use our OnX Elite memberships to buy parts at a discounted rate. So you guys can do the same at home. If you have an OnX Elite membership, you can get parts for a discounted rate for your rig, and then you can build it at your place. So what that means for us is I got a pile of Barnes four-wheel drive stuff that I got a 10% discount on because I used my OnX Elite membership. In the back of this. And some water. So we're gonna unload that, but Mike and I gotta get some metal because if you guys remember from last time, that frame is way too short. That Pacer's a lot bigger than you think, and we are gonna have to extendo el framo.
Yes, that is exactly correct. We will extendo el framo.
So we're gonna head over to the metal shop and do that. I've never been to the metal shop in Moab, so I'm kind of excited.
It's a fun experience. Hey.
This ain't a metal shop. It says Rick's Glass.
No, so secretly over here, this is Moab Metalworks. This is where we go to get the goods.
Oh. We have some El Framo Extendo metal.
Dun dun dun!
So if you can't tell by the condition of this box, UPS loves me. I think it got put in like this. If you have a big order, they just start. This is our new Barnes heavy duty belly pan. I think that'll take a rock hit.
More than one.
One or two or three.
Depends what kind of rock.
All right, because we are going to use the TJ stuff, I'm going to probably try to integrate the TJ dash, or at least parts of the dash in here just to save on wiring issues. But what that means is we got to get this dash out.
Professionally removed.
I heard pops and cracks.
No, that was your imagination. You
Okay.
made that up.
Looks like things just unplug-ish. Oh, there's the clippy clip right there. There we go.
That one. We gotta push. We gotta twist.
It's like a bend and snap.
It's called the bend and snap.
Come on. Ooh, yeah. That's a good movie reference. There we are.
Many Pacer parts. These are probably worth a lot of cash, so gonna hold on to them for a little bit because those are got value. So this is Ryan. He is 16 and he is gonna help us work in the shop today. He's gonna be here for the next couple days. He's going in welding class in high school, and I think that's what he wants to do is kind of be a welder fabricator, right?
Yep, that's right.
That'd be cool.
So I'm holding this on the other side.
Okay. Now, get the column shift Tony. Let's not wanting to give up.
All right. That's nice.
I like your column. A couple reasons why I took this hatch off. One, it's extra weight that we're not going to need. Two, thinking about some tires here because it's going to be a go-fast car. Got to have them tires. Keep that balance.
Okay.
We are free.
Thanks, sir.
All right, if you're not used to older cars, let me show you where the high beam switch is. It's right there in your foot. And that's how you go from high to low. Word on the street is they're going to be bringing those back down to the floor because blondes keep getting their foot stuck in the steering wheel trying to get to high beam.
What?
Sorry, blondes. Kind of like pulling an engine every time you think you got it, all you find another part.
Yep.
All right, so we got everything gutted. The throttle cable's pushed forward. The gas pedal's right here. I just have it sitting off to the side. That way when we figure out what we need to cut out of this transmission tunnel, we'll be in good shape. And yeah, it's pretty empty now. Now there's a lot. Look at all this. Like my legs are straight.
And that is a lot of room for
There's
activities.
a lot of room.
Look at this.
Lots of room for activities. I can
get
put a drum set in here.
And there's even more room in the back.
I just gotta get out.
So, fun fact about the Pacer, I didn't know, the passenger door is substantially larger than the driver door.
Yeah, by at least 3 inches. It's actually a lot longer on this side to get in and out.
Yeah, so the real deal.
So we want the tire probably in that neck of the woods. Just go straight up. Cut this and go straight up with it.
All right.
So even though it looks like the coil's forward, the coil actually sits forward on the axle. So we're plumbed up pretty straight at where we want to be with the tire and whatnot, because we're going to modify the body here. So now we'll go ahead and just ease down the body, get a really close line of where the back of this motor is, and then we can punch a hole through it in the transmission tunnel and then see what it looks like from there. Alright, that's good. So we're definitely going to have to move our gas pedal over. Probably going to have to cut it to here to clear the intake, and then we'll work our way up, clear the motor stuff. We got to come up, what's this, about a foot?
Yeah, I'd say at least.
So we got to measure that foot height, which will probably be somewhere about here.
Trimmaroo.
All right, so we got a game plan of what we need to cut. We still need to pull this rear bumper off of this thing too. Once we get it cut, we know we're gonna have to extend the frame, so we're gonna have to hold the frame up and do it, but it's lunchtime. Mike went home. Shannon and I got leftover pizza from Zach's. If you ever eaten Zach's here in Moab, it's always good. And what do you got?
I got a sandwich.
Ham Sammy? Looks like it.
Yep.
Looks like it might be ham or turkey. It's hard to tell lunch meats anymore. So if you don't remember where that frame came from, it came from this Jeep Wrangler here. Now, an LJ frame, which is longer, probably still not long enough for that car, is way too expensive. We were able to get this, according to the budget, this was a $7,000 TJ. So they did some pricing and they quoted it for us because I already own this Jeep. So I had to let them decide, which them is Ian Johnson and their crew. They do a research on it. They find other ones like it, same mileage, things like that. And that's how they came up with that. Now the downside, like I said, is for this OnX vent, I can't sell these parts to get the discounts against the build, but I can sure as heck sell these parts to get a discount for myself, because realistically, this is a pretty clean yellow tub. It's got half doors, it's got a good soft top, it's got good interior, it's got Tuffy center consoles, it's got all kinds of parts that I can sell, on top of the fact that I'll be able to sell all the parts from underneath this frame once we change that out. Because if you guys have been watching and paying attention to this build, you know that I got a 9-inch for the back, which means I'm probably going to do a 44 for the front. And that means I can sell the axles that are out from under this as well and make some money back, including, if you guys know anybody that's looking for a nice clean motor and a good transmission, let me know down below. So what we came up with here is we are going to have to trim this firewall out. I'm going to actually lose my gas pedal, so I'm going to have to modify the brake pedal to move the gas pedal over, which isn't a big deal. And then we'll have to figure out a new spot for the steering column to come through. It's going to be right up against there-ish. So we'll figure all that out when we have to figure that out. But this is kind of the ideal spot of where this will fall, where the front axle will fall, and everything will kind of work together pretty well. So we can cut that out, cut the transmission tunnel out, which we don't have to go too deep into it, and then everything should drop down onto place. Now we are going to have to trim the sides of the uniframe here and trim that out, and that way it'll set down. And obviously, before we can still set it down, Mike and the guys are going to have to cut the frame. We're going to cut it right here in front of the lower control arm and extend it back about 10-11 inches to make it fit under the center of this. Now I don't come here without bearing gifts. I know you guys, are teamed up with me doing the Pacer, but you're also been working on Robbie's wrecker.
Okay.
And I put together a T-case that from Off-Road Design. So this is all the shifter parts,
All right.
pieces.
Oh. So this is like a twin stick for a 205 or?
Yeah,
All right.
triple stick. Because it's got a Magnum box.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No way.
And I even painted it because, you know, it's Robbie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can just
Magnum power.
look at that.
Oh. There you go.
Man, that is
So-
super awesome.
That's 175 pounds.
I'm glad you were lifting it. Man, I bet Robbie's really going to love that. That's awesome.
All right, so we had to leave Rory's because we took the morning off to head up to Meeker, Colorado. I think I scored the world's cheapest tires and wheels. I've been looking for tires and wheels because we're on a budget, and our budget's pretty high already with the parts we got. But on Facebook Marketplace, I found a set of 37-inch Super Swamper SSRs. I'm kind of a fan of Super Swampers. And some Allied beadlocks that were on sale for 350 bucks. The guy wouldn't let me PayPal him. He wouldn't let me wait till I could come up and get them. He dropped the price to 300. We were going back and forth. He dropped him to 250. I was like, is there any way I can pay you and pick him up in a week? He said no. And then he dropped him to 200. And it's like, okay, well, I just got to come up and get him then. So I'm going to show you guys a picture here on Facebook Marketplace. And that way you can see exactly that I really did get this at that price. Or I'm going to hopefully get these at that price. I'm curious if the tires even hold air at that price. We'll find out. And there they are. Oh, I guess it was 300 bucks, but now he's down to 200 bucks. SSRs, $200 on beadlocks. Like, I can't beat that price. I can't make this up. But he lives all the way in Meeker, and so maybe that's why nobody wants to go get them. Maybe it's because they're SSRs and they're 15-inch wheels, and everybody's went up to 17s. I don't know. And it is raining. And the thing about Colorado rain, man, it is cold. It is not like a lot of states where it's like the rain just makes it humid. It is like cold rain. It'll make you cold. It'll drop the temperature 15, 20 degrees, no problem. It's also about time I find a good deal, considering everybody else magically found $1,000 pickup trucks and things like that. Like, everybody spent $1,000 on their vehicle, and then I'm the one that spent $3,000 on a Pacer, so I don't know. We had to take a $7,000 hit for the Wrangler, so kind of curious how everybody else's prices are working out, but at least we got one good deal with wheels and tires, so I'm stoked on that. All right, so I'm here in Meeker. Drove all the way up here to score these, and they actually all hold air. They're a little rough. They've been used. You used them a little bit?
I used them a little bit, but I found a better set. Got brand new tires and stuff.
Just so you're proof, these guys are here. I paid 200 bucks for them. I paid 200 bucks.
I don't need them. I need them off my lot. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate doing business.
Yeah, thank you. So we stopped at Clark's Burger here in Meeker, and now we're headed back. One of the things I noticed with the rules, some of the rules have changed this year. There is no limit on how many people work on your vehicle, but one of the rules I did not see that wasn't in last year either is there is no limit on how far we can drive to go get something. So if I find a good deal and it's within my driving range, whether it's 6 hours from me or not, I can go get it. Swampers, 200 bucks with beadlocks. I'll have to work some secret tricks. I'll show you some secret tricks to make those SSRs hook up. All right, we made it back here to Rory's place. They are working on Trailmator right now, actually changing out some leaf springs, but we got our tires. We got tires from Off-Road Design that we got for free because they got some slashes in them, and then I got my other tires with the beadlocks that we Facebook Marketplace score of the day for sure. We'll go ahead and get these unloaded and get them inside. We'll take these off too and give them a little green paint. Feel like painting today?
Yes, that's what I want to do today.
So while we were gone, they cut the frame and pushed it back. This car's a lot bigger than you think, but it looks a lot more better. All right, so I went ahead and dismounted these tires off the wheels for a couple reasons. One, Shanna is painting the beadlocks, making them look nice. Of course, we got to give them green. And two, I want to do my tape trick, which if you guys remember when I built the S10 on the OnX channel, I did a tape trick to keep the wheel in on the non-beadlock side. I'm going to show you guys that on this one as well. So, tires are nice and dismounted. The date code on these are 2006. Our tires are from 2000 to 2006. You know how old these Swampers are? They actually still say made in the USA on them. All right. They are looking pretty darn nice. We went ahead and sanded them down, cleaned up the little burrs from the rocks and stuff, and they really weren't that bad. The tires are chunked out some, but I'm gonna go ahead and flip those to where that chunked out side's on the inside of the tire too, so we'll have a better lug bite on the outside as well. Those are gonna need another coat for sure. All right, we went to O'Reilly's and got some better paint. I like this Duplicolor engine enamel, and it's the right green. It's the green I use for all my stuff. And look at that, so much betterist. They're gonna look nice on that old Pacer.
They're pretty now. Before they were bleh. Now they're pretty. Because that matters.
Cool. Pretty cool.
You think they're
Look
pretty?
At it. Oh yeah, look at it. They're pretty.
So pretty.
They're pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah, that's how a guy says it. That's really pretty. Cool. Yeah. Okay, so outside of wanting to clean up those beadlock rings and paint them and make them look nice again for that bad boy, also I want to take them off so that I can make sure that the back side of this wheel seat's good. These are actually old Allied steel beadlocks, which is super rad, but right here is your bead where the tire actually sits up against here. You can see it's kind of scuffed up from where I was prying. What we're going to do is right there where that little lip is I'm going to run some of this. Now this is the trick I used on the S10. I didn't have bead locks and it worked great. All right, now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to split this in half. You don't need to use the whole roll, and you want to get 3 full wraps around the wheel. So right here where this rib is, you just want that tape to go right on that rib right there. And once you air up your tire, it pops over that, and then this Gorilla Tape will actually hold it on. It'll hold that tire on. If you watch the S10 build, then you know, but this is my trick of the day to keep your tire from ever burping. So if you have burping problems, 3 full wraps, you won't have any more. So now you can see right here where this rib is, we just made it a little bit taller with that 3 wraps of Gorilla Tape. And now when the tire sits on here, it won't push off. It can't pop off because this tape will keep it from actually spitting backwards. If you're like me last year, I couldn't afford beadlocks, and only if I got this smoking deal on Facebook Marketplace. But if you go on the OnX Off-Road website and you're an elite member, or you want to be an elite member, you can use the code Colt Builds It, get 20% off, sign up, and then you can get discount codes for wheels like Method, where you can get it on a discount, and then you can buy those wheels at a much better price. But that was a trick I did on my Method wheels because I couldn't afford beadlocks. I just had street looks basically, and taped them up on both sides, and they held for the entire road trip, all the way around the country and even out in Ultimate Adventure. So one of the nice things about taking the wheels and tires apart is then I could go ahead and cut those valve stems, because I'm pretty sure they were on there originally when they mounted those wheels and tires up, and get these. I got these from O'Reilly's, part number 15-412, and they're tiny, tiny little short valve stems. So the great thing about that is then they have the least amount of chance of getting caught on a rock, a twig, anything like that. They can rip your valve stem off. Oh yeah, that's gonna look nice. Shanna torqued all those back up, so we went ahead and aired them up to 25 pounds, and that way it's just gonna make sure the bead seats really nice, so that when we air them back down and the thing lives at like 10 psi, we know that the bead was sat in good, holding that on. She did paint them up nice too, so she did a good job. All right, new day. We're getting ready to drop this thing down. I believe Ian's on his way out because he's gonna come out here to film for OnX, so we got to get all our stuff ready. But these guys are busy working on tow trucks because, like I said, it's their busy time of season. They're gonna be doing all kinds of stuff. Make sure you go check those out because you know they're gonna have rad recoveries all the time, maybe a little bit, one or two.
Recoveries, all hours, all time.
24/7, 365.
Yeah, except in the dark.
24-hour towing. Just please, if you can refrain from calling Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. We would like to have Sundays off. Maybe. Right, so what we figured out here, had to trim out the inside of the firewall, push the engine back to get the steering where we want it, keep the axle where we want it, which is actually going to help having the engine more centered in the rig anyway for go fast stuff. But we're going to kick this back probably just a little bit, move this frame back a little. We got to trim some stuff here. This isn't looking too bad. We might move it up just a skosh, but we'll see. We definitely have to trim off the cab mount ends here to get the car down. Yeah, you're gonna have to trim out the fender wells. You know, this was a museum car, but it is exactly what that is, a museum car. It has patch panels, it has a nice paint job, but it had rust repair. This is a patch panel here. You know, you can see the bubbles of rust in here, and you can see exactly where it was patched actually. It looks pretty from video, but it's not as nice as you guys think. It is a nice car though. I'm way stoked on what we got. It's easy to work on, and so when we trim it up, I'm not gonna feel so guilty as you guys might feel at home.
It looks good from far, but it's far from good.
So we're definitely gonna have to do some more trimming here, some trimming here where the bumper mounts sit to be able to get this down lower, because we do want this as low on the chassis as possible. I want to make this thing kind of slammed a little bit. It's not crazy high right now, but we do want to kind of slam it a little bit to kind of give it that ratty look, you know? And you don't want to see so much frame. We don't want the whole car on truck 90s look. And we don't want to see the frame. And drop. So with rolling the frame back to where I think the wheels will be in a good spot, the transmission dipstick is now on this side of the firewall, which will actually kind of make it funny for like checking it. Well, I'll make a little access panel or something where you can just pop it off and then check it from in there. And all you people that were giving me grief about saying the shorter version of transmission, that's because I'm not allowed to say that. Not because I won't say it. I say it all the time. It was a word before words.
Yeah, what he said. Well, what's the next step?
Trim these so we can get it down lower, I think. We might have to trim the whole valance maybe, but I bet even if we cut it off here, grind these, pull this up, and then make that support there, that little V support, and still have a support there.
I was kind of thinking we can build a mount off of the frame here to hold the radiator, and we could actually countersink the winch into the grill and
For
keep
sure.
our approach angle
For sure.
pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm always up for keeping the winch in.
Yeah.
The back actually looks pretty darn nice. You got the hump from the car and then the hump from there, so that might actually look pretty good. We'll see once we get it lowered another 6-8 inches.
First cutsies.
All right, so a cutoff wheel isn't going to get inside here, so we're going to try a Sawzall, see if we can reach up in here, kind of get this all trimmed back, and that way we have enough room to set it down. My goal is to get it to where it sets right over this frame rail right here.
So, did you hear about the woman who couldn't stop collecting magazines? She had issues. Mom joke. Anyway, the guys are out there trying to figure out what to do, so I thought I'd come look at all of Rory's awesome collection in the yard, because I love junkyards. Colt and I used to go to junkyards all the time whenever we were dating. It was one of my favorite things. You guys want to see my favorite thing out here, actually? I'll show it to you. I want it. Look at that beauty.
All right, so it's trimmed here, here, and here, but I'm gonna have to get into here and underneath, and so we're gonna use this bad boy, the old hypothermatic. They call me Plasma Man.
She's ready.
Ready to rock.
Cut all things mode.
Cut all things mode.
Yeah,
I saw it. It's at full tilt. So I'm gonna have to trim out just a little bit more up here, but we're quite a bit lower already. We just gotta get way lower. So gotta trim out a little more around the firewall to get lower, and then this is gonna get nice and low. Look at how much lower it looks already. Starting to look more like a TRAR now. That's 13. Close enough.
Close enough for government work.
Right?
Right? I just got happier.
getting ready to weld this frame together. When you're squaring up a frame, there's two things you really got to pay attention to. Number one, obviously, you want the same distance between them apart. Secondly, you want the same distance crossways here. So that way you know that it's squared up before you start welding it together.
And that's also the reason that we cut the frame on the one straight part, so that we can use a straight edge and get it back to square that way. And like, it helps instead of trying to do it in a bend or doing it right here, because that would have been a nightmare.
We have enough nightmares. We don't need any extras. All right, look who's here. John and Ian are here, so they're filming for the OnX channel, so you guys will have to go check that out and see what we're doing on this. But what we're doing right now, actually, extending the frame, welding the pieces in, getting it squared up, and then Roy got called. Somebody's broken Pritchett, ripped their steering knuckle off, so he's got to go fix that. So I will be here lone wolfing it back on here. All right, so one thing we didn't do when we cut the frame was brace it. So the frame sucked in a little bit, used the high lift, pushed it out, got everything squared up. It looks beautiful. All right, so Ian and John left. We got this thing set down. This is about the ride height that's gonna be, is what you see right there. So it's gonna have a little bit bigger tire. We are gonna do coilovers, I think. I found some used Fox coilovers, which is another company. I can actually get the parts still using the OnX discount with the Elite membership. So that's really, really cool. They pulled out all the barn stuff we have for all that. And we modified the firewall a little more just to get this thing as low as possible. If you were just to build a frame, you would want to sleeve it. We are still gonna fish plate it, but because we are building sliders, we're building a cage, we are gonna tie this thing in every direction you can imagine because it's gonna be a go fast race truck. I'm not too worried about that little bit of frame that we welded in to space it out to get the right wheelbase.
Center tire?
Yeah, center tire if you would please, sir. So center tire, 105 inches. That's perfect. That's actually kind of what we were shooting for. I believe I might have even mentioned that before, because this thing I think is like a 100-inch wheelbase, 101 stock, and we knew we wanted to stretch it just a little more so we have room for the tires and we can clearance everything. But yeah, 105 is going to be a perfect wheelbase for a rock crawler on 37s. Go fast fun stuff. Tomorrow we're going to meet Ian Johnson and John up on Poison Spider Mesa, so we're going to go up and do Poison Spider and film a little bit of that with the S10. We just got a storm. Oh yeah. It's storming.
Oh yeah. No, it's like
It's a
sandblaster.
There's Moonflower. Alright, so after that crazy storm that lasted most of the night, we are headed up to Poison Spider Mesa this morning to film the last bit for this OnX video. And we got Ian Johnson and John in front of me, and then Rory is in front of him in blue, which is green. Also had a few fans stop by when we were at the Maverick and just introduce themselves. And I just want you to know that if you ever see us out and about, you know, I have no problem talking to you or saying hi. I mean, it's one thing if I'm in the middle of a film set or something, trying to film something, but I have no problem saying hi. Really appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys. See all that dirt that they've already moved out of the way. It was pretty bad last night with all the rain and stuff. Getting the film cameras ready.
Any metal that'll stick to it, you can put it on there.
John's got the filming skills. All right, so one of the cool things I like about Poison Spider Mesa is right up here at the parking lot, there are some cool dinosaur tracks and there's petroglyphs up on the ridgeline. So I'm gonna throw the drone up just so you guys can see it. we're off. John's up ahead filming. Ian's riding with Rory. Let's see what we can do. All right, so Ian rode with me on the way down. We did a little bit more wheeling. John's here, he's been filming everything. So if you guys wanna see what happened out there, make sure you go onto the OnX Off-Road YouTube channel and you get to see all the fun that we had. 8 miles, right?
That's right. It's gonna be amazing.
All right, well, Ian and John had to leave. The door is locked, which means Roy and those guys are still out in Pritchett. So I'm gonna do a little stop, drop, and roll action to get in here, if I can. I don't know if I'm that thin.
Oh my. Suck it in.
Go up. Go up. Go up. Go up. Like Mission Impossible. All right, guys, well, I'm gonna get back on this thing, and that'll be in the next video where you can see me actually getting this a little more set up and ready to go. We might even be bringing it back to New Mexico. So please make sure you go on the OnX Off-Road website. It's free to sign up. Vote for team. Trail builds it. Colt Mater. Appreciate you guys watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.